Hi there, welcome back to the channel. Yes, you join me sat on the loo inside the caravan, and today's actual video is about the bathroom itself, and in particular the sink. We've noticed that our sink is slightly loose from the wall, so we're going to be reattaching that with silicone. But also there's a design fault in it. Now if you have a similar sink to this in your Swift or any other make, then this video is going to be ideal for you, because it's going to prevent you having to replace the actual furniture where the sink is housed. So let's take a look at what I'm going to be using today. So for today's fix and repair, we're going to need the following. We're going to need a silicone gun. Now we're going to use some white antibacterial domestic for bathrooms silicone. We're not going to be using the outside stuff that we use on the Caravan. We're going to need some silicone remover. We're going to need a sharp knife or a scraper, and we're going to need some blue masking tape. Now I recommend blue over the normal stuff because it doesn't leave a sticky residue behind once you peel it off, but nonetheless we're going to need those things. So let's look at the problem and I'll show you the solution. So here's the problem. Can you see how it's just moving there like so? It's not attached to the wall properly. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the silicone that's on there. We're going to put some silicone behind it and also reseal it. And then the second problem is this. If you look at the furniture here, you can see that they've not sealed this edge here. And what we are noticing is that's starting to feel like it's bubbling and getting soft. So to prevent that from rotting out, we're going to seal this with silicone as well, all the way down to the bottom here. And we're going to do that on both sides. So let me, first of all, let's get the silicone remover so that we can get rid of the existing awful silicone and badly sealed silicone, and get rid of that first of all. So I've used this silicone remover before on the channel when I did my kitchen sink project, and we're going to be using it again. Now it doesn't matter if you get it on the wall board because it doesn't really leave a stain, but we need to apply this. Always read the instructions with something like this and apply it quite liberally to where all the silicone is, so we can get it off, and this will soften over a period of time. So we're going to do this. It's starting to lift actually, I can see it already. So we'll leave it for a little while longer, and then we'll come back and I'll scrape it off. Now I'm going to use a craft knife. Now if you're not actually happy to use a craft knife, then use a plastic scraper, that should help as well. Right, I've managed to scrape all the excess silicone off, and I'm really pleased with the efforts on that one. Doesn't look like there's silicone out there at all. Now I'm going to leave this for a little while longer to allow the silicone removal paste to evaporate, really, because I don't want to be putting fresh silicone and still have that actually on here, even though I have wiped it down. And then what we're going to do is come back to it. We're going to seal this, and we're also going to seal this as well, and hopefully it won't rot this out anymore. So it's all nice and dry now, and I'm quite happy and confident to have a go at doing some caulking now with this anti-mold silicone. Now what I think I'm going to do is try and put a little blob behind there, so I'm going to just use a screwdriver to tease that open a little bit more so I can get the nozzle in. So just let me, it's a new tube this. So just going to try, without breaking it obviously, to fit a little bit down the back if it's possible. No, it's not. So I can't get that behind there without risking breaking it, so I'm just going to caulk it straight off. So I'm going to do that now. Now everybody has their own methods, but I just like to wet my finger and just use that. Now inside the bowl here, if you're wondering what I'm doing, I've got a piece of tissue and I'm scraping the excess off my fingers. Now the next thing I'm going to do is just do this edge here and bring that up nice and neat, hopefully. There There we go. And I'm going to repeat it on the other side. So that's pretty neat. I'm reasonably happy with that. Just tidy that up a bit. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some masking tape and mask this down. I'll just do it off camera and then I'll come back to you. Okay, so what I've done is I've masked on both sides now. I'm going to show you this one because it's closest to the camera. I've not quite met up with the edge of the wood. I want that slightly exposed so that when I put my silicone on, it's going to adhere to the wood slightly, but it's not going to make a mess. And also, when I rip the tape off later on, it's not going to leave like a raised line. It should be nice and flush. So we'll get on with the caulking now. So with that in mind, I'm going to go sort of towards the tape as opposed to towards the actual unit itself, like so. I'm going to repeat that on the other side and then we'll remove the tape in a moment or two and we'll see what edge we've got, but I'm hoping that that should seal it quite nicely. So I've removed the tape now and I've got a reasonably good edge. I'm quite happy with that. There's a little bit of a blip there, but I'm more or less that's how I'm very content with that. I'm hoping that that's going to prevent this from rotting out any further. So let me tidy up now and we'll have a little chat. Well folks, that's how I added additional sealing and resealed the sink. Took me about an hour altogether because you've got to allow the silicone softener to do its job and also wipe it off and let it evaporate so you can apply your new silicone. And for the sake of an hour, if you've got a new one and it's still got that design, I would suggest that you perhaps have a go, or if you're really not happy doing it yourself, get your Caravan dealer to do it for you when it goes in for a service. Well, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you'll join us again real soon, but in the meantime, bye for now.